Boy, 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 that sounds good. Harry, baby, you are amazing. You and your band. That was Sketchbook and the intros and the first chapter of the Road to Wellness Workbook, which is detoxification, abstinence, and 12 steps. So I'll read that at some point in time in this show, but I want to. Hey, this is Dr. Uggs. Don't forget us. Oh, yeah. I'm John Barleycorn. I've got Dr. Uggs here. And who's this over here? Well, it's me. It's, same voice, but I'm not John Barleycorn. I'm Hugs Not Drugs. So welcome to the show, everybody. Take it, John Barleycorn. Okay. This is a great day. I'm down in the studio talking to you right now. And you may ask yourself, what is the Hugs Not Drugs podcast about? Good question. Who's it for? How will it help me? Well, I can answer that. The Hugs Not Drugs podcast helps motivated people in recovery from addictions, not just substance addictions, but behavioral addictions. And, it'll improve their personal health by enjoying inspirational stories, educational information, and I try to provide some entertainment here. Yeah, I'm a laugh riot. Nobody understands that, but I am a laugh riot. Thank you, Dr. Ruggs. I agree. You are a laugh riot. So are you ready for the Road to Wellness Workbook information? Here we go. Introduction. This is another book written by John Forlenza-Bailey, a prince. This man's been working in the field for 40 years for substance abuse, as a substance abuse professional, and he's written a couple of books, The Road to Wellness Workbook, and he's written our first episode, the Transformation of Dr. Uggs. I have a tremendous respect for this man. Okay, introduction. Welcome to the Road to Wellness. Let me congratulate you on having reached a decision to participate in the Road to Wellness Workbook. Let us try to answer the question, why recovery? Look briefly at the kinds of reasons people decide to make the change in their lives. You'll no doubt identify with one or more of those reasons. Perhaps someone close to you has expressed concern about your using behavior. If that is true, you can see that the negative consequences of substance abuse cannot help but affect the lives of those around you. This includes family, friends, employers, employees, anyone with whom you have regular contact in any kind of relationship. Perhaps you yourself have come to see that the negative consequences of your life, the disease concept of substance abuse is threefold. It affects the abuser physically, emotionally, and spiritually. In most cases, the deterioration shows itself in a lessening of neglect of spiritual values. The lying and deception to cover the shame and the guilt from the adverse consequences often lead to a violation or even an abandonment of values that you once held. Since all substance abuse involves some form of mood-altering substances, your emotions are affected. You can use when you are happy, you can use when you are sad. Whatever the occasion, your feelings are artificially changed. And in recovery, work has to be done to recapture true feelings, identify them, live with them without trying to alter them with substances like alcohol or other drugs for unnecessary medications. And finally, there's the clear and most obvious reason to stop the madness of addiction: physical deterioration. Chemical dependency is ultimately a fatal illness. Over a period of time, the body is adversely affected. The failure in any body's vital systems, respiratory, cardiovascular, circulatory, and so forth, are usually the causes of death among chemically dependent. Being aware of some of the reasons why you have taken this important step in your life prepares you to embark in this workbook of recovery. The Road to Wellness workbook is designed to provide education, emotional support, and inspiration to persons suffering from addiction. It offers step-by-step lessons to people striving to turn their lives around. We are addressing any type of substance abuse, addiction, or dependency. When we speak of addiction, we do not mean just addiction to alcohol and drugs. We are including such addictive behaviors as overeating, compulsive problem gambling, overworking, and sex addiction, all of which are potentially destructive behaviors. Yeah, I just want to throw something out here. One of my friends just died of their workaholism. And, so workaholism is, oh, you did say it. Oh my gosh. Pay attention, please, Dr. Uggs. The Road to Wellness workbook will inform you of how negative issues can be transformed into positive actions to help with your self-improvement, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and socially. Mentoring and chemical addiction treatment services. The concept of mentorship as it relates in this workbook will be a critical part of your success during the next 30 days. In order for this workbook to be most effective, you are highly encouraged to work with your counselor or mentor while completing the assignments in this book. What is mentorship? The word mentor derives from Greek mythology. One of the first recorded books in history, the Odyssey by Homer, has a character mentor. Mentor was a loyal friend and advisor to Odysseus and the teacher of his son Telemachus. And that is also what you need during your journey of self-discovery. Remember, you have been problem-solving under impairment by altering your brain chemistry with mood-altering chemicals. Now, a period of adjustment is in order. There are many changes and adjustments to absorb during the first year of recovery, and a mentor is practically a necessity for you. Both you and your mentor need to commit to invest the essential ingredients of time and energy it will take to establish the foundation of a recovering chemically dependent person. Your mentor will have an excellent rapport with you as time goes by. Your mentor will have vision of your ongoing recovery that can and will instill motivation and hope in you as you learn to love yourself by knowledge gained in this workbook. Yeah, that's a very important thing. I hate it myself. I still do. That's why I'm trying to get Huggy to go back to using, but he won't do it. So I'm not the dominant person here. Let me say something. This is Hugs, Not Drugs. We have a daily reprieve based on a spiritual condition. So using your mentor and having other people to bounce off an idea that you may have, because sometimes our thinking is stinking and it leads to drinking. Oh, you are so cool. Hugs, not drugs. Oh my God. John Barleycorn here. Let's get back to the reading. I'm almost done. The introduction. Not having someone to share your thoughts and feelings while participating in the listening, reading, and writing assignments in this workbook may be an unconscious setup for failure. There are many techniques available to abstain from alcohol and drugs. Very few are successful without ongoing outside support and help. Community connection is recovery. Mentoring has worked successfully for thousands of years in all areas of need and is a great adjunct to help you recover from addictions. A word about journaling. Journaling in this workbook is a necessity. Get in the habit of journaling. Your recovery journal will take you a minimum of 5 minutes per day and will address your goals, concerns, dominant feelings pertaining to your week's lesson in the Road to Wellness workbook. After writing, you will share your journal with your counselor or mentor during your therapy sessions. The purpose of this sharing is to receive feedback concerning your thoughts and interpretations of the materials in the workbook. Okay, so that's the introduction. I'm going to go right into chapter 1, and this is page 13 of the book. To introduce the chapter 1, detoxification, abstinence, and 12 steps. Objectives: to introduce the importance of detoxification, abstinence, and the philosophy of 12 steps. I just want to mention that I've got pictures here. My graphic artist is just an amazing man, and he is, I'm just going to call him Joe the artist. At this point, he is an amazing man, and I appreciate all he's done to help this workbook be as good as it is. In fact, I think I joke with him, the pictures are better than the content, but I think the content's pretty good too. No detox, no abstinence, page 14. You've heard the word abstinence. What does it mean to you? Think about it for a minute. Say it. Write your definition to your counselor mentor now. And I usually have, when I'm counseling people, I usually stop right there and have somebody flip to that page in the workbook and write the word abstinence. A dictionary definition of abstinence would include, first, cessation from indulgence of appetite, especially from the use of alcoholic beverages. Secondly, abstinence can be defined as a state of being in any self-restraint or self-denial. And third, the state of being without a drug, an addictive, mood-altering chemical. The word abstinence is derived from the Latin word abstentia, and it is synonymous with sobriety. Substance abuse professionals understand the concept and the action of abstinence are vital to recovery. Being abstinent, however, does not mean full recovery. Abstinence is the beginning of your recovery. Achieving abstinence from alcohol and drugs first requires detoxification. No detox, no abstinence. Depending on the severity of your addiction and the drugs that you have been addicted to, you can estimate the length of detoxification. The deeper the level of physical addiction or dependence you have experienced, the deeper the level of discomfort during detox. Over 70 years ago, Dr. Elvin Jellinek studied and categorized 2,000 alcoholics. He popularized the now accepted theory that views alcoholism and addiction as a progressive disease. His theory is still upheld by the American Medical Association and the American Psychiatric Association. Jellinek theories says that there are 3 stages of alcoholism, which with definite warning signs and symptoms for each stage. He simply named the 3 stages of alcoholism: the early stage, the middle stage, and the late stage. The latter, the patient stage of progression, the more medically compromising and more serious withdrawal symptoms will become. An understanding of chronic and late-stage alcoholism will help to explain detoxification for you. Chronic alcoholics do not get well from their alcoholism through detoxification and continuous abstinence. Read that again, Ace. Chronic alcoholics do get well from their alcoholism through detoxification and continuous abstinence. Chronic alcoholics are clearly physically addicted to alcohol. Chronic alcoholics may express feverish sweating, tremors, delirium tremens, commonly known as DTs, which are characterized by violent shaking and even visual and auditory hallucinations when detoxing from alcohol. People can die from delirium tremens, seizures, and vital function abnormalities, heart and kidney failure, gastrointestinal bleeding, esophageal varices, and liver damage. Rarely do people die from withdrawal of opioid, cannabis, cocaine, or hallucinogen detoxification. Not so with alcohol withdrawal. People die from drug overdoses, that's for sure. And there's a lot of that going on epidemically in this country now. Seizures are also possible, especially if the alcoholic has a prior history of convulsions when detoxing. In other words, an alcoholic can be seizure prone because of his or her alcoholism and is susceptible to convulsions when he or she attempts to become abstinent. For the diagnosed chronic alcoholic, detoxing from alcohol can easily evolve into a medical emergency and hospitalization with constant medical supervision. It's highly recommended. Self-detoxification in any stage of alcoholism is risky. If you have any doubts of the level of your chemical dependency and the possibility for a need of medical management and medical monitoring, see your family physician. Visit your nearest urgent care or hospital emergency department, or check into a rehab center specializing in substance abuse detox. After detox from chemical dependency, even though there is no longer a physical need to drink alcohol or use one's drug of choice, the mental obsession to return to substance abuse is usually ever present. Being among supportive people at this time is important. This understanding is highlighted by 12-step slogan, any addict by himself, herself, is in bad company. As a result, a physical and psychological dependency occurs for the chemically dependent person. That's why we need other people. It's like one strawberry said to the other, if we weren't in that bed together, we wouldn't be in this jam today. Regarding chemical dependency, there is good news and bad news. First, the good news. Abstinence without relapse is possible and being accomplished by millions of people in recovery. And the bad news is that most alcoholic addicts come to realize that they need more emotional support than they ever conceived was needed. You are in a transitional stage of recovery, the first 6 months to 1 year of your abstinence. Working with a mentor provides you the needed positive support and instruction for your recovery. If you are serious about maintaining your abstinence, you will make phone calls to your mentor, counselor, and other supportive recovering people who have offered to help you. This mentorship helps to diffuse the ongoing mental obsession to use in your transitional period of abstinence. Regular, I mean daily phone calls to your support network will easily help prevent relapse and maintain abstinence during the first 6 months of recovery. Remember, you're in a transitional stage of recovery. Asking for help by daily check-ins for a significant period of time, 6 months or longer, is a sign of intelligence and respect to yourself and your loved ones. Well, that's a powerful statement right there. It keeps me under the radar with trying to get my my psychopath going instead of Huggy's spiritual path. The origins of abstinence for today's millions in recovery. Experts in the field agree on the buddy system as a means of staying abstinent. The origin of abstinence for today's millions in recovery is the founding of the 12-step groups Alcoholics Anonymous. Bill Wilson and Dr. Bob Smith are the original buddies of the 12-step philosophy. Bill Wilson, former stockbroker, is credited for writing the book Alcoholics Anonymous. Dr. Bob Smith, a physician, medically detoxed over 4,000 chronic cases of alcoholism in the last 15 years of his life. Dr. Bob observed, getting stopped is one thing. Staying stopped is something else. Dr. Carl Jung, a famous psychologist, mentioned in his to his alcoholic patient, Roland H., that in order for Roland to remain sober, he needed a psychic change or a spiritual awakening out of the realm of therapy. Dr. Jung suggested that the addicted person use his desperation as a blessing. Roland H. was able to follow Jung's direction concerning practicing spiritual principles successfully. He was instrumental in working with Alcoholics Anonymous during their formative years, and literally helped thousands of people. They were chronically ill with alcoholism, maintain their abstinence. Dr. Carl Jung called this a convergence experience. Desperate people do desperate things. For chronic substance abusers, abstinence from their drug of choice is a desperate behavior. For a substance abuser, belief in a power greater than oneself and following spiritual principles are also acts of desperation. John Barleycorn here, reading this to you. And I just want to mention that this stuff works. Prayer and meditation works. My faith, I think, is very small compared to a lot of other people's faith. But I pray every day, and I meditate every day, and I stay in contact with other recovering people every day. Not because I want to so much as because I know it works. And, I do go to meetings, and that's probably the biggest reason why I have the quality of my life today, because of the people in recovery. Remember, community, connection with others is recovery. Carl Jung's theory regarding spirituality continues to have merit as an effective means of arresting any addiction and achieving psychic change. This is my personal belief. Spirituality is a 12-letter word, meaning a 4-letter word, love. Through participation in 12-step recovery programs, you will be assured to be unconditionally loved back to your physical, emotional, and spiritual health. And we heard that story in the transformation of Dr. Uggs. If you go back to episode 1. Hugs Not Drugs was literally love back to health. There are alternative means after detoxification to maintain abstinence. Individual therapy with psychologists, social workers, and substance abuse counselors can help. More often than not, however, your therapist in the Road to Wellness Workbook recommendation, that's John Forlenza-Bailey, for abstinence and recovery, is to become involved in 12-step options. To paraphrase a famous 19th century philosopher, Herbert Spencer, who is credited in saying, contempt prior to investigation is foolish. So why not check out 12-step philosophy for a significant period of time and then reevaluate after 90 meetings in 90 days. That's always been a great rehab suggestion. And then if you don't think that it was worthwhile, you can always get your misery refunded. Yeah, these jokes are so corny, man. In conclusion, here's a story about the need for detoxification, abstinence, and 12-step involvement. Why don't you read this, Dr. Uggs, because you're the comedian here. Yeah, let's put a little life in this thing. There were once two people in a hospital for alcohol and drug problems, a man and a woman. Both had tried on numerous occasions to get well, but neither had any previous success. After being medically detoxed and safely detoxed, Both were allowed to attend some of the groups and counseling available at the rehab center. The male patient was walking through the hall in an agitated state and talking to no one in particular, but loud enough for the staff and other patients to hear him. "Well, I suppose that I'm up and around. People will be suggesting that I go to these AA meetings on the unit. After that, they'll be telling me to go to 90 meetings in 90 days. What propaganda, what brainwashing." The woman patient heard the comment and replied, "I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Maybe it's better suggestion than anything we've tried before. Besides, I'd rather be brainwashed than spin-dried." All right, that's the end of the Road to Wellness workbook, chapter 1, and that's the end of the reading anyway. Then there's some writing assignments to do, and a definition of the abstinence we've already gone over, and then a journal that's very, very simple. Monday, what am I feeling? What am I thinking? Tuesday, Monday, also, what am I feeling? And Monday, what am I doing? And that goes through Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the same things. What am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? This is basically cognitive behavioral theory in a nutshell. Naming, claiming, and processing thoughts, feelings, and behavior. And you do that with a mentor. And then after that, I think is the hardest exercise in the Road to Wellness workbook, and that would be, who am I? My story. Write your autobiography, describing your first memories and significant events until the present. Include your substance abuse history, the origin of your abuse, the substances abused, amounts and frequency, people that you use with, attempts to stop, the best times and the worst times. And like I said, that was a prototype of that would be the first episode where I wrote that story, The Transformation of Dr. Uggs. Sorry, I got a frog in my throat. Okay, let's take a break. While John Barleycorn's extracting that amphibious creature from his throat, let me just try to get some money to pay for this bad boy here, this podcast. So I just want to say that we're being sponsored by the Road to Wellness workbook, written by John Forlenza-Bailey. Somebody already mentioned he's a prince. What is the Road to Wellness workbook? This workbook is designed to provide education, emotional support, inspiration in persons suffering from addiction. It offers step-by-step lessons to people striving to turn their lives around regarding abstinence, relapse prevention, family dynamics, and self-assessment to continue to discover day-to-day recovery. Recovery is up to you. Mentors help. Journals help. You must exchange and surrender destructive behaviors, what I like to do, for constructive behaviors, what Hugs Not Drugs likes to do. And find out ways of handling day-to-day stressors or triggers of life. No one deserves to continue to suffer from active addiction. Get better, do the work. And now, back to a summarization of the Hugs Not Drugs podcast for the day. Episode is completing now. The Hugs Not Drugs Road to Wellness workbook. We went over the intro of the Road to Wellness workbook. We went over the first chapter, which is completely a nice overview of detoxification, abstinence, and 12 steps, the importance of all three of those will provide a very good start. You know, John Barleycorn here, and I have over 45 years of recovery. That's a good start because, when you wake up in the morning, you have to treat untreated alcoholism, and you do that through prayer, meditation, connection with others, uh, and hopefully attend a meeting to share your experience, strength, and hope with other people. What did I say before? It's like one strawberry said to the other. If we weren't in that bed together, we wouldn't be in this jam today. Y'all have a good day. Hit it, Harry. Go out with sketchbook. The end of sketchbook.